Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. Do you believe in Joe Hendry? Well, believe in one hand and shit in the other and see which fills up quicker. Yeah, it's going to be one of those videos, folks. Let's get to it. I'm John Renton with my review WWE NXT No Mercy 2024 from the Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado. Ball Arena. One ball. Lance Armstrong must have sponsored this. But nevertheless, yeah, I certainly got some thoughts about this show. No, I'm not going to be reviewing NXT Weekly. I may check out the CW debut, and I may end up seeing if Julia, your Roxanne's going to be on the run now. Oh, Julia is going to take the title from Roxanne Perez. That's going to be actually a pretty fun mini feud. Not saying that because Roxanne is short. It's just her time in NXT is short because she is bound for the main roster. We'll get a big run in the Royal Rumble. But before that, yeah, 18,000 seat capacity. They had around 7,000 people. I will say that for the most part, the crowd made the most noise that they could. I don't know about running, takeover type events, premium live events or whatever in big arenas like this if you don't A, promote, and B, have a hot enough television product to justify that. But that being said, the crowd did make the most noise that they could. Okay, the kickoff show. I have a couple questions. Megan Moran, Sam Roberts. I got nothing against Megan. Sam's a little weird. Why was Megan in a dress that you would find in a prom scene in a coming-of-age rom-com? I mean, just really, what the hell was going on? That flower is so big you could have seen it from space. The video packages actually built up the card well. If you had not kept up on weekly NXT or had missed a few things, these packages caught you up nicely. I'm not saying I cared about half the feuds, but I will give them credit. And we get interview pieces. We got one with Axiom Verge and Frazier, teasing that they were going to split up, but they haven't, at least not yet. So, Obafemi really is a bright spot of this particular program. I mean, he's a bright spot in the goddamn company. He is one of the few people where I'm like, okay, it's going to take a bit. They might want to fast track him to the main roster soon. I'd say by SummerSlam next year, he should be part of the card. But man, he's going to take a bit, but he's got it. Yeah, baby, he's got it. Who is Blake Howard? Who is he? He was doing some interview pieces, but whatever. Carly Bright, Dante Chen. Remember when they were pushing Dante Chen for a bit, and then they forgot about it and at the beginning of 2.0, and then now they've suddenly started doing it against Brian Pillman Jr. King. I mean, really? But whatever. I mean, Dante, after the story he told about, like, relatives, one relative that died and wanting to honor them, then they forgot about him, then they haven't used him, and now they're suddenly using him. It makes no sense. It's been a few years. Anyway, so Sarah Shriver, who looks amazing, absolutely amazing. So happy to see her on a mainstream WWE program. I know she's been part of NXT for a bit. So there you are. Video packages on the card and the I Believe in Joe. Look, I'm going to say this before I don't really analyze the main event. Joe Hendry, starring as a guy on What Culture, doing What Culture Gaming, talking about wrestling as well. He is well-spoken, he's energetic, he has found his niche, and he has found a way to make it work for him. And I give him credit for that. The big issue is he's got a ceiling, and this event kind of exposed that. But whatever. Again, it is kind of cool to see somebody that you saw on YouTube working hard, training hard in the interim, being able to get this spot. But again, there's a ceiling. Vic Joseph and unfortunately Booker T calling the action. Look, Vic Joseph, I like. Booker is less annoying when I tune him out, but Booker needs to dial it back. He really needs to dial it back because you can be humorous and not take away from the show, but Booker does often take away from the show. So, Axiom Verge and Frazier, the nut job that's part of that crackpot church. I forget the name of the church, but he lost me there. Against Chase U. Andre Chase and Ridge Holland, which the whole Chase U thing is just ridiculously stupid and has been stupid from the beginning, and I hate it, and I have hated it since it started, and I will continue to hate it because I'm sorry, there's cartoonish. This doesn't work. There are people that like it. The people in Denver didn't like it. The people were booing the fuck out of this. Maybe they wanted to see Dookie Nukie Hudson, or they wanted... Who's the other guy? Who's the other guy that's with them? I mean, I know Thea's there. I forgot the other guy. They were teasing some love angle between him and Thea for a bit. So, Denver, I love you. Because you booed Chase U. Because everybody should boo Chase U. Because Chase U is not good, even if the talent's good. Ridge is just making people land on their heads again. That man has been in the company for 6 years. And it feels like forever. Okay, so it was what it was. They did near falls. They did their stuff. Look, their heat wave match is better. The thing is again, more near falls and just no selling shit doesn't really make your match good, no matter what the company is. They did their stuff. They did their near falls and their spots. Andre did break out a Spanish fly that took for, about 8 million years to set up. And a missed dive. This got awkward. This got very fucking awkward. Just do flips like Bender told Hermes to do. Near falls and a brainbuster plex variation, a combination 1-2 kick out. And eventually they got the crowd into it by the end. And then, we got a Phoenix Splash. 1, 2, 3. New old tag team champions. Chase U lost. And then Ridge turned on Chase University. Ridge, curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal. Good. Stomp Chase U. Destroy it. Leave nothing standing. I'm sorry, they need to move away from the goofy stuff, especially if they want to draw bigger crowds in these arenas and they want to draw more eyeballs when they go to CW. They need to have a mixture, but do something better. So, yeah, Ridge lays out Andre Chase's especially. We get a stretcher job while Thea Hale does her best Nancy Kerrigan impression. Why? Why am I still part of this gimmick? All right. Pete Dunne and Trick William packages because they're going to have a match on NXT Weekly TV. Wesley against Zachary Wentz. Zachary Wentz going back to whence he came. Except not yet. MSK explodes. The Rascals explode. Everybody's exploding in Denver. Mile-high explosions. Okay, a heel Wesley could work. The thing is that I feel like this isn't going to last very long and that he's going to be called up by the time we are done with WrestleMania 41. Which doesn't seem like that long, but that's like 7 months, so that's going to be a test. This was all right. He targeted Zach's head, which doesn't have much in it based on that post. It got him, by the way, taken out. He got fired from the company because of that post. Leaked or not, you don't do that kind of stuff. You just don't. You don't do that kind of stuff anyway. And if you do that kind of stuff, keep it private. Don't actually put it into into the goddamn universe like that. But nevertheless, now he's an Impact, but that's okay. We can just bring him back and feature him properly on this, even though we fired him because somebody else is paying him. I guess doesn't really make sense. The TNA chance, the Boston Crab spot, that was actually pretty nicely done. I'll admit that. A Phoenix Splash for 2. It's a second straight match with a Phoenix Splash. The Cardiac Kick for 2. They bust out their big moves. They do this. We get, a bump over the top. Everybody's outside. It looks like Wes is going to take a chair. The announcer's table collapsed, by the way, during this. Before Wes hit the stomp outside. Good job gimmicking the table there. So after Wes is going to use the chair while Zach's on the post, Trey Miguel, whoever he is, I know that he's part of the team with Wentz. I don't watch Impact because I don't care, because I don't want to watch Impact, because I watch enough wrestling as it is. And for every good thing that Impact does, they also involve Moose and AJ Francis and gimmicks and people that aren't very fucking good. So we then get a cutter variation, 1, 2, 3. So Zach gets the victory, which means this feud continues. I mean, I guess, does that mean Wes is going to get another partner? What's going to happen? So we get a pre-tape with JC Jane, Fallon Henley, and Jasmine Jasmine Nix, I think. Lynx, I think, was the name of the TurboGrafx handheld. So I don't think that's it. JC and Fallon and Jasmine, so okay, it's a new Toxic Attraction variation. I mean, I'm for it because JC looks good, Fallon looks good, Jasmine I'm not that familiar with, but whatever, if you can help elevate somebody, it's fine. So then we get these Hank and Tank guys on Instagram Trick talks to Hendry, says, I'm going to call right down the middle. Hendry says, when I win, I'm going to give you the first shot. And speaking of shot, I felt like I needed to be shot while watching Kalani Jordan against Wendy Chu. Okay, I don't fucking care if people want to get upset about this. This is one of the worst matches I've seen all year, regardless of whether it's WWE, AEW, New Japan, it doesn't matter. Kalani Jordan is athletic. Wendy Chu has been involved in wrestling for about 10 years, and I know she's had injuries, and I know she's been saddled with goofy gimmicks. I believe she was Karen Q before, then she was a dragon lady, then she was wearing stupid pajamas. Now she's doing a weird Coraline, or, Nightwish story time thing. I am the empty crib of Peter Pan. This movie needed to be stuffed in a crib. Just, God, this movie suffered from SIDS as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, God, this match, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but I'm not saying that the women didn't try. I'm not saying they deserve to be cast into the goddamn abyss, but Jesus. This was embarrassing. This went forever. This match was maybe, 13 minutes, and it felt like it took 40. This was bad. This was really, really bad. Kalani is green, but has potential. You can tell that she can get by on athleticism and has picked up a lot of this shit. By the way, it's for the North American Women's Championship, because companies need more titles. And yeah, eventually she hit a split leg for 3. There was a botch off the top where I'm like, that wasn't even the worst goddamn thing about this. It was the fact that it happened. Just don't do this. Just stop. Don't do this anymore, please. Just whatever you were thinking of doing, just don't do it. And then Tatum choked out Wendy and put her little doll action figure thing on her pillow. That's not a euphemism. Maybe it is. I don't know. So, Andre Chase was loaded into a goddamn ambulance, and Ridge says nothing, which is the best use of Ridge. And then Obafemi took on Tony D for the North American Championship. Yes, more North American titles. Just give everybody a North American title at this point. I love Obafemi. Tony D has gotten by on this gimmick. This gimmick has been going on for 3 years. Stax is there, some other weird guy, and a blonde. I don't know who the blonde is. I think I've seen her once. I think they said her name was Rizzo. So apparently we're going back to Greece. This is more like Grease 2, though, this gimmick. Oba has a great look. Tony D apparently hurt his ankle early, so that's why they were doing big man stuff. But it was a little bit subdued. I personally think we probably should have wrapped this up sooner if Tony was actually hurt. But whatever. He does hit a nice Fisherman Buster roll. Gets a 2 count. An electric chair on a bad ankle. Maybe he was just selling the ankle really good. I don't know. But Oba takes out all the goons. Stax landed really badly in the announcer's pit. I do also want to shout Alicia Taylor. She actually is a pretty good ring announcer. I mean, I personally prefer Samantha just because I think she has more energy, but Alicia Taylor does have that incredible passion as well. So they got 2 really good ring announcers in WWE currently. So, Tony does hit a nice spine buster variation. He stops the powerbomb once, but then back in the ring, 2 power bombs, and then we get a 3 count. It just, whatever. It got messy. Oba won. Again, Oba needs to be fast-tracked. Oba should be in the Royal Rumble, quite frankly. Give everybody a taste. Stop it for those that are Oba fans. So, Trick tells Ethan, I'm going to call right down the middle, and Ethan mocks him. Ethan Page is a world champion on a mainstream promotion. Yeah. Sarah's talking to Zach and Trey. Zach says he's going to move on. Wes is going to attack him next week. Or Wes is going to show up on another Impact taping. Jada cut a promo backstage. She's got next, whatever the fuck that means. And she gets out there. She looked like she was pretty emotional. I don't know if it's because she has ties to Denver. I don't know. Or it's just she's happy to be on this big stage because she has been featured on TV. There are a few times where it's been a little awkward, but she's got that presence, and I'm not just talking about the fact that she is physically attractive. She has that presence. She has that ability to make you want to watch her because she does have a personality about her. Technically, everybody does, but she actually has one that's interesting, and she can back it up in the ring. She has gotten better. She has shown being athletic and taking to this like a fish to water, or an owl to a mouse on a field. Don't think that one really works, but you get the point. She has actually shined pretty good. And speaking of shining, Roxanne shining as a heel. This is the best match on the goddamn show. By far. My God, this was head and shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes, knees and toes above everything else on this show. So the women stole the show, but it was petty theft. They stole it from the women that tried to basically steal the crowd energy a little bit earlier. And that's not a knock on Kalani or Wendy as people, but that nearly caused me to turn off the goddamn show. I nearly didn't review because I didn't want to review it after that. But NXT Women's Championship match, Roxanne versus Jada. Roxanne targeted the taped ribs of Jada. Jada sold that better than most people I've seen that have been in wrestling for 10 years. Because most have wrestled for 10 years at this point, unless they've actually worked in proper indies and worked for proper promotions, don't know how to sell shit. Some that have been in for 15 to 20 years that don't bother to sell shit. So she caught Roxanne on a dive, did a lift back, was going to do a lift back into the ring. We got some steps action. Jada got curb stomped on the goddamn steps. That was kind of brutal. Very split crowd. The crowd really rose up for this. In fact, the crowd actually probably added, I'd say, half a star to almost a star to what's going on with this, because had the crowd not been into it, I don't think the women would have been as motivated. But Jada kept fighting back. Roxanne kept zeroing in on the ribs. Jada hit a nice spine buster for 2. She hit the booty bump in the corner, actually hit it off the top. That looked like it hurt. She was focusing on her ribs when she tried to do a pickup. That didn't work because she was like, oh, my ribs. Ah. Oh, now. I don't know why I'm like this. And, we basically get a crossface into a Rings of Saturn variation. It doesn't last very long. A barricade bump, Pop Rocks on a broken barricade, and again in the ring, Pop Rocks 1, 2, 3. Jada shined, Roxanne got a victory without looking like she was just squashing her opponent, but there was no chance that Jada was going to get the victory here, and it was a way to elevate both, keep Roxanne rolling, because lights out, and here comes Roxanne's reckoning. It is Julia. My goddamn goodness, Julia looks amazing. You want to talk aura, as the kids say? I'm 43 and trying to keep up with this. She has that aura. So does Stephanie Valkyra, who is waiting on her American visa. But Julia shows up and just stares her down, and Julia was towering over Roxanne, who's like 4'5". No, Roxanne's 4'5.5". I kid, of course. That's going to be good. I think you have that on the, debut episode on the CW, and you build to that. You got to hot shot this shit. You gotta. Unless you're going to go for what, because I'm trying to think what, they could go for Halloween Havoc if they really want. But I don't know. But do you have Julia in a short-term program with somebody, or do you hotshot her immediately? Answers in the comments. Ava gives us an update on Chase U by saying she's going to update us when she has updates. Good use of camera time right there. I like Ava as far as being this GM. I actually think she found her niche. I don't know if she's ever going to be a wrestler. I don't know if that actually is going to work out. They only featured her in some multi-person matches. Didn't exactly work, but if this is what her role is going to be, you know what? Let her excel at it. So, whoop that trick entrance. Why are we whooping sex workers? What did they ever do to us? So, he's the special ref. They love Joe Hendry. See, and Joe Hendry, much like the Denver Nuggets, can almost get the championships, but not quite. Oh. So anyway, yeah, it's Ethan Page as the world champion of NXT against Joe Hendry, with the special guest referee being Trick Williams. I don't get it with either of these guys. I'm never going to get it. It just, this didn't work for me. I give credit to Joe. Ethan, I'm glad he's getting featured, especially after wanting to do more in AEW. There was a nice delayed slam where Joe walked around to all points of the ring. That was good. He hurled himself stupidly onto Ethan in the floor. Good tactic. We believe chance. Ethan did focus, on beating Hendry down. We did get an ego's edge by Hendry soon after. And Trick ended up stopping a 3 because we got a ref bump. We got a ref bump after, Trick stopped a 3 count because Ethan's foot was under the ropes. Then he got bumped. Second ref came in. The title got introduced. DDT on the title. The referee's like, I don't see it even though it's right in front of me. Good job making the referee seem ineffective. 1, 2, and Trick stops the count. And then he's arguing with the ref after that ref. He's arguing with that ref. Then that ref gets bumped. And then Trick doesn't see the low blow. And the edge. 1, 2, 3. And then Trick gets attacked by Pete right after that. So yeah, there's your NXT No Mercy review. Bit longer than I expected, but yeah, you believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry continuing to come up short. Whatever, he's over for now. He's a fad, a meme. I know Skinny Mysterio has something to say, but I doubt Taryn's watching this because Taryn has better things to do. That being said, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rickland. I'll see you soon.